What is up, guys? We're doing a little bit of mod review for you today against a Kled top lane here. I am running Phase Rush, Nimbus, Celerity, Gathering Storm, and then a couple interesting ones in the secondary row. I have Hex Flash and Cosmic Insight with Ghost Flash Summoners. And the idea with this setup here basically is just to make sure that I have my mobility summoners up, have Hex Flash to help me out in the early game, because without teleport, your early game can be sacked if you misplay pretty hard. But the thing is with double mobility summoners is that your team fight is going to be really strong. Your macro definitely can suffer, but your ability to navigate through a team fight with Ghost and Flash is higher than your ability to navigate through a team fight with TP Ghost. And so for that reason, a lot of players prefer this setup because it gives you a bit more agency over the team fight phase, which is nice, and I like the setup a lot too. Sometimes I think teleport is better in certain matchups, but in a lot of melee matchups, you can definitely run Ghost Flash. Like, Ghost Flash is never bad on Singed. It's always going to be good, but there are scenarios where it may not be the best. But I think for 90, we'll say 90% of matchups, especially melee matchups, it's probably fine. And for what it's worth, it is actually his highest win rate setup. It's also his highest pick rate setup as well. On Singe for summoner spells, which is cool. It's definitely a very fun setup. It's very high octane, which I do like a lot. It's a lot of sprinting and just using your passive and flinging like at super high speed, and it's fun. It's a good time. So I did a bit of a Dark Seal start here, Dark Seal refill into Doran's Ring. So I actually was taking notes last night. I played this game when I was I had a little piece of candy that made me feel a little funny. And I decided to queue up for this game for fun. I was taking some notes on my phone about how to improve the way that I play. And this is something that I used to do a lot back in the day, like a couple years ago, around Season 10. And I find myself getting back into note-taking because I've just been enjoying the game a lot. And when I enjoy the game a lot, I think about the game when I'm not playing it. When I think about the game when I'm not playing it, and I have a little funny piece of magical candy that makes me feel good, ideas start to flow, right? It kind of helps me break out of my box to think about things a little bit. And some of the notes that I took here are pretty interesting. So here's the first note that I took. The first note is called, so just trying to juke Kled here a little bit with Phase Rush. Eats a lot of damage from my poison as I back off. Some of the notes I took here. Here's the first point that I have here from last night. This point is called early game stability, and my idea was, what if I try investing gold into starting setups? Like, oh, there's the execute because Kled is trying to kill me. Good execute. There's the flash. I have Hex Flash, so it's mostly okay. Here is the first note. It says, maybe you can try investing gold into the starting item setups like Dark Seal Refill Potion plus Doran's Ring for a more stable early game that lets you value farming hard with the stats. It's basically, the idea is if you use the stats that you get from stacking starting items like Doran's Ring, Dark Seal, and boots, you can use these stats to make sure that you are able to effectively farm because you're harder to take down because you're investing gold into your early game, which makes your early game more stable, right? So here, Hex Flash over the wall to try and secure these grubs. We do show a little bit, but then we fight on the Kled. He got chunked out really hard earlier by just over trading into me. So I can't actually kill him there because he will remount and then kill us, but then I see Jax over here. So I fling Jax, he gets shielded by Ori, he dies. Kled remounts, but he's super low HP. And so then he dismounts again, then we kill immediately. I actually think their Karma is gonna die here, so I just walk away, but then she empowered W's. And then I come back over, get the assist on her, very nice. And so here I go back to top lane. But yeah, I was taking some notes here and trying to think about some things. Here's another one. Here's another tip that I wrote for myself. Try and set up my next chop as I'm walking to lane or before I recall. And the reason why I brought this up is because I found, because I've been playing League for so long, that I fall into patterns which can be very not good. Oh, yeah, running away here. I have no health, no mana. Just trying to dip, basically. There's not much I can really do here. They do kill Jax. I couldn't rewind that a little bit. So they do kill Jax. I just have no health, no mana, really. The almost entire enemy team shows up here. My Bard shows up as well, so I'm running. Here's Lucian and Bard, yeah. Then my team actually does still get all 3 of the Void Grubs, even though we die for it. It ends up being pretty okay. So, does suck to die there, but I'm going to recall and make it work. Because I've been playing League for so long, I've been playing League since April 2010, and I've been maining Singed since 2013, like early mid 2013, and I used to be a Singed Riven 2-trick before that point. So my champion pool was always very weird. I used to play a lot of like Jax before they changed him a lot. I guess he's pretty much still the same character though. I used to really into like Shen top lane as well, with the old Shen where you would like throw the Keyblade into someone and then it would heal you whenever you hit them. That version of Shen was super fun. But I used to play the old Irelia a lot as well, actually, kind of fun fact. But I was a Singed-driven 2-trick before I started to just main Singed. And I could place Riven at like a Diamond level back then, which I guess in Modern League would be like Low Master, probably. When I've been playing League and playing Singed for so long, I find that I fall into patterns, really. And so the bad part about falling into patterns is it means that there's a bit of laziness, because my brain, I think what happens is that my brain looks for the path of least resistance to doing the same thing that I've done over and over so many times. And I probably shouldn't do that. Team giving up some shutdowns here, a little unfortunate, but they're still getting work done, so all good. I walked over here out of the proxy to try and see if I could help. They did not end up needing me, but I end up finding that when my brain falls into these patterns, it's not a good thing, because I found that it makes the way that I play the game lazy. So here's a good example, right? One of the things that I do to try and stop myself from falling into these patterns, the patterns which I find make my gameplay not as good, is I'll try new things, right? So you guys see me doing different setups on Singed all the time. And part of that, yeah, definitely is because Singed is just such a versatile champion, and you can really bend this champion like to the style that you want to play, because he has so many different options available to him. And you can really make the character kind of fit your mold, right? Because he's such a versatile character. Another reason why is because I find that when I force myself to play setups that I don't spam a lot, that it makes my brain kind of like turn on, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it's more stimulating to my brain. So here he takes a long trade on me. Go ahead and pop my ghost, pop my R. Start to run away. Just wait for my fling cooldown. I know he has no dashes, I know he uses ult, I know he uses ignite, so just fling through the wave, clear it. And then we run back around for the proxy. Oh no, actually, I see the enemy team over here, I spy. I tried to catch the Ori, but then Jax jumped on me, and then I tried to kill Jax, and then somehow Wukong killed him, so we'll take it. But a lot of the time, if I try out unfamiliar setups, it is easier for me to... Why is this not... That's weird. Direct to camera was unbound in the replay tool. But forcing myself to play setups on Singe that I'm unfamiliar with helps activate my brain almost. And it makes it like... Oh. Unfortunate team was dying here. Like I said, I was under the effects of some magical candy during this game, so I don't remember everything that happened, but I played really well, regardless of my funny gummy, so yeah. It was a good time. yeah, I find that I play better, I play sharper, because it makes me think about everything a little bit more. It makes me think about like what my champion is capable of, like in the moment, with the different set of resources that I've given him, right? And I think that's a really cool way to like keep yourself sharp after playing the game for so long. You know, maybe in a couple of years when people look back, if anybody looks back on and finds this video in a couple of years from now, they'll be like, you know what, that's actually a good idea, because I've been playing League for a much longer time now, and I find that I need to stay sharp somehow, because, you know, when you one-trick a single champion in a single video game for so many years, you have to, like, remember that there is perspective in the game. That's really important to have. Here I'm just walking over to grub spawn too, because I wanted to make sure that if we fight, then I'm there for it. But like you want to try and make sure that the perspective that you have is colored by the fact that there's more than one champion in the game. And when you one-trick a character for so long, you forget like certain resources and tools that you have available to yourself to like play the game through a different lens. And I find myself getting into those patterns, the patterns of just like lazy gameplay, and that's not good, right? So in order to not stagnate my growth as a player and continue, hopefully maintain continual sharpness, I tried to think about the game in like a different way, right? The problem is, you know, for a long time, I haven't really been enjoying League that much until, well, I've been enjoying it a lot this season. Actually, I've had a lot of fun this season. But whenever I don't, there's my team get the classic solo queue throw. Whenever I don't enjoy the game on like a fundamental level, I find it harder to spend time thinking about the game in that way. But I've been having so much fun with the game recently. I've actually started like taking, you know, mental notes about the game, because I've been thinking about it more when I'm not playing it. Like when you think about a game and you're not playing it, that's a good sign for how fun the game is, you know what I mean? And so I've started like kind of keeping a running list of notes on my phone about things that I should try, things that might be good, things that might not be good, things that I think would fit the champion well, things I think that would help me change my playstyle well. And just kind of keep mentally sharp, because whenever you're doing the same thing over and over, it becomes hard to, like, at least for me, I'm just speaking from personal experience, it becomes really easy to fall into patterns and like not think correctly about what you're capable of on the champion, what your champion's capable of with the resources you give to it, etc. Right? So here, Kled just pushing with the turret, fighting Wukong. I probably didn't need to go here, but that's okay. Apparently my poison was off here. Oh no, it was on. I was wrong. I probably didn't need to flash there, looking back on it in hindsight, because the Jack's Q was down, but that's okay. Run through the wave. A little bit of gold. This is a nice part about Cosmic Insight with this setup too. With Cosmic Insight, Summoner's cooldowns are a bit reduced, so my Ghost is 178 seconds instead of, what is it, normally 210. Flash is, I think Flash is lowered as well. I think Karma has Cosmic Insight. Let's see, or does... Who else has Cosmic Insight? Let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, Wukong. So Flash is a 254 second cooldown with this rinse out. Quite decent. And I found that I can be a much more successful and much more well-rounded player as long as I am able to prevent myself from falling. That was a really good Wukong. I remember that Wukong ult happening in real time when I was playing this game, and I was really impressed because he predicted the Jax jump over and then ulted to CC him, which is pretty crazy. I just am a much more well-rounded and sharp player when I'm able to think about the game differently, because it like stimulates parts of my brain almost, where like so this is a great example. Like it stimulates parts of my brain that makes me more creative with the way I approach the game, right? And creativity for the past few, so here I'm just poking up over and over through this alleyway with the grub buff, because this tower is 1 HP, and for some reason they're all here just trying to defend it. So here we are, just poking up, and then if they ever engage on me through this corridor, I can just spread poison and run away, because they will all get hit by it. There's no way to dodge it, right? So like they don't want to go on me here if they can't, or engage on me. Stop the Bard's recall, just be annoying. I found that it kind of does make me like play better because it's stimulating my brain. I'm not autopiloting and just falling into these patterns that, you know, might not even be the best decision, one, for the meta, two, for the game that I'm in, and three, just for the way that I play, right? Autopiloting for... I think autopiloting for older players is a really big problem if you're still wanting to play the game at a high level. I don't know how much of everything is a result of burnout, because certainly player burnout is a problem for older players as well. So here Makai's top lane, I have level 11 just now, so I match Kled's level 11. Here's Kled, pop my R. Makai hits him with the flash W, stops his R. Kled flashes the wall. Oh, but here I'm just actually super fast, so 541 movement speed, 477 after the passive. Fling, run away, easy kill, easy money. Very nice. I know for older players, like... Jeez, Vayne. Ooh, but the dodge. Wow. We do experience a lot of burnout. I think burnout, though, has a lot to do with, like... I think burnout, at least not for pro players, maybe it's different for pro players, I don't know, but just for, like, solo queue players like me, probably has a lot to do with, like, obviously, you know, as you get older, you get more responsibilities, and time management for playing a game is kind of... comes into question, but... just, like, we have to understand, I think, as older players, that, like, a lot of the things that we're used to just, like, working are not gonna be, like, the same forever, because any little change anywhere on, like, any item, like, any rune, any enemy matchups, right, like, if certain champions fall in and out of meta, then that can affect the way that you play. It can change what you buy. It can change, like, the dynamics of a matchup, right? Any little item buff, like Doran's ring getting plus 20 HP or something, and then plus 3 AP was huge, right? A lot of things can change really fast in a game like League of Legends. League of Legends is a game that will never stay the same. Karma solo killed, apparently. Because by the nature of the game, it's built to change, right? So that's also why it's really important to not fall into patterns, because if you fall into, like, autopilot patterns, then you're gonna end up ignoring things that you could be doing better, basically. So here, big team fight, they're W on Jax. I get CC'd by Bard, but then Lucian gets flung. Kill him. I'm running through. I get stunned by Bard because he has that. And then, Flash Fling. I die for it, but it is super worth it. I want to show you one thing. He dies because I finished Riftmaker. You see that? I finished it, and it gave me a tick. Here, look at this. Look at this. So, I Flash Fling auto, and he's ticking. He might have died to Leandries, I'm not sure, but watch. As I finish Leandries, I buy it right here, and I actually have the replay of this, but I get 1 stack of it out of 5, and he dies because I did that. Because the damage amp from what was burning on him kills him, or what was left of poison on him kills him. Very wild, very fun. All right. But yeah, it's just thing that I have found that I've been doing to try and keep myself a little bit sharper, which is cool. Also, whenever you one trick a champion for so long, like, you start to kind of need to learn to play all of these different playstyles anyways, because you kind of start to micromanage the fact that, hey, this XYZ way of playing is way better in this scenario. It's better if I take this rune against these champions, or this item against these matchups, or, you know, proxy at this time against these even individual specific players, because if you're playing in high elo, then you memorize the way that enemy players play a lot of the time too, right? Because you're matched up against the similar set of people sometimes. So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I don't know, maybe kind of boring because it's like just really theory stuff, but I think sports theory is fun, so it applies to esports as well a lot of the time. Here we go. We have a fight coming up. My ult is down actually, but I get ulted by Ori. Then I walk forward because Maokai, I see him jump in. He actually gets out, which is cool. Kled ults in, then leaves. Fling Ori for the last hit, get the kill. I run through their team. I have Riftmaker and Liandry's popping. 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills. Easy, just like that. Liandry's damage at 16-14. You can actually see in this fight when my Riftmaker starts to go off, because you can see my health bar on the ground one more time. You can actually see when my Riftmaker charges up and I start to poison people when my health bar starts moving up. So watch right here. I get about 50 health back off flinging Ori. Go through the portal. I eat damage. I'm down to 1400, but then I'm back up to 1600 by the time the fight's over. So very nice. Pairs well with the ultimate as well. Much better version of Riftmaker that we have right here. Thank you, Riot, for fun items yet again. Yeah, I guess it can be kind of boring to like talk about like game theory and stuff like that, but it's fun to me. It helps keep the game fresh. Speaking of game theory, maybe a not so great theory is over pushing the bot lane here, and then put myself in a bad spot against the Lucian and Bard, and then I get ran down like a dog. And the Lucian definitely does not die, because he ends up living at 130 HP. 110 actually, but yeah. Oh, I guess I should talk about this setup in particular, yeah. I wanted to try Doran's Ring Darkseal. I should say Darkseal Doran's Ring again, because they buffed these items last season. In, I believe it was 1320, the anti-snowballing update. And I have found that when you invest extra gold into your early game, it can pay off in situations like this, where the Kled was like kind of unable to duel me the way he wanted because my stats were just kind of too high. I was able to wave clear, and as long as I was able to dodge it, like it's not like it's a full stat check, right? You still have to, you can't just eat every single ability and expect to live. You have to like make sure that you're playing properly, you're dodging his abilities, you're proccing your phase rush to kite away, you're not getting ganked for free, right? You still have to make sure that you're doing all of these things, but it helps your ability to like be stable in the other game, right? So here Bard tries to jump to the portal, block him with my W, run through. He ults himself, pop my R, run through. Huge damage in the corner right here. Look at all this damage in the poison control coming down. He tries to go over the wall with his Q, fling him back in. Very nice. I wanted to dive the Lucian there, but that's a little bit dangerous, so I just go over here and start clearing the waves instead. So that is the last fight of this game, but this little sequence of play right here is so awesome to me. So before this, I have 2020 Liandry's damage. And then I'll actually hide this, but you can see, this is really satisfying. You can see when the Riftmaker pops off and I dive through the corridor, how much healing I'm actually getting. So these guys are all they're just screwed because they're stuck in poison and they're like flashing into it. They're pinned against the wall. This is awesome. You can see my Riftmaker just healing this entire time, which is awesome. So actually, how much health do I get down to? I get down to, let's see. I get down to 2.1. I take a turret shot there with some Lucian autos, 1.7. So we get down to about 1.7k HP. And I'm healing like quite a bit. Wow, this is in half speed. I'm healing this much. I'm back up to 2,000 HP. I have no triumph here, by the way. This is no triumph. This is just Riftmaker healing. That's my only sustain. No Conqueror either. Yeah, very fun. But I just wanted to make this VOD review and kind of share my thoughts on it. I popped off pretty hard this game. And I thought it was worth sharing because I just like to share some of the small nuanced stuff with you guys sometimes. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. These types of videos where I talk about this level of theory usually don't perform too well. So the audience reach for this video will most likely be a bit smaller for those of you who even like, you know, choose to stay to listen this long and watch this long. But like that being said, I find it's still useful information to put out there because some people do like to listen to game theory and things like that, especially like from someone who's been playing for so long, and someone who's been challenger for so many years, right? Uh, I think I need to work on my articulation because sometimes it takes me a very long time to make a point in a video. But that could also just be like the ADHD. So yeah. That being said, guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. This was the graphs and the overview of the game 7, 4, and 12. I had like 7.7 CS per minute or something in this game. Yeah, at the end of the game, I actually had 7.5 CS per minute, so 7.6 for a little bit there. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Mwah. Later, everyone.